now. So have fun, and yeah.
Thank you, Mariana. Hi everyone, my name is Megan. I'm a student and a trustee with Discovery SVS, and with me is Andrew, who I'll let introduce himself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Andrew. I'm also a student at Swansea. I've been involved with Discovery for about 4 years now, and I'm currently in my 3rd year as a trustee with Discovery.
So I'm going to be going through how we've adapted our volunteering to become virtual. We've created new projects, adapted some old ones, and have joined up with some existing projects. Andrew will be monitoring the chat throughout, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them at any point. He'll stop me and we'll answer them. Okay. So what is virtual volunteering? So it's actually been around for quite a long time, but given everything that's happened, it's adapted a lot, that we use it a lot more now. It makes a bigger difference to a lot of people that you can spend as little or as lot of time as you like, and then that impact can, really make a huge difference to a lot of people. So volunteering, whether it's in person or virtual, you get a lot of transferable skills, such as data analysis and helping others. You can take part in research. It also builds your confidence, so that's one thing it's really done for me personally. So there's that. So the impact that it can have on the community is it allows you to support the members of the community that need the most help. It also makes such a difference to the lives of a lot of other people, and it brings the community together. You get to be social and you get to meet new people. It's brilliant. And you can, help local organisations. It also has a great impact on our students and volunteers within Discovery. So one great thing about it is that we've been able to be consistent for our volunteers, which has really been great for their mental health and well-being, that they've had something that has stayed stable throughout the entire pandemic, really. It's also great for our employability skills. So you, like I said before, you get a lot of transferable skills, but you also get to put something amazing on your CV that you've really made a difference. As I said before, it also is brilliant for your confidence. So if you'd have met me 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't have spoken to any of you. I was really shy, so it's made such a difference. And then within Discovery, we offer a lot of training opportunities. So I've done a lot of like first aid, safeguarding, things like that, which again, brilliant for your CV. So just a bit about Discovery and our history. So we're a student-led charity. So we're not directly affiliated with the university or the SU. The Students' Union. We work in Swansea area, but we also have links with Zambia through our Siyabonga Partnership Programme. We were actually founded 50 years ago and currently have over 600 volunteers with 30 different projects. So over the years, we've really grown, and it's brilliant. So our key aims are to enrich the lives of disadvantaged people, to challenge discrimination, and to support disabled people. So we've had to adapt a lot of our projects. So here are just some of the ones that we have so far. I'll do a quick showcase of the projects that we're currently running. So Inspire is an adapted project. It's new. We had a lot of children's projects that were run face to face. And of course, given the pandemic, we had to stop those. So instead, we adapted and created the initially fun activity. We follow the NHS 5 Ways to Wellbeing and create different activities that follow those principles. So we've made so many activities so far, from making your own leg locks to physical workouts, slime making, things like that. Then we also have For the Love of Scrubs, which you might have heard of. It's an existing project, and we've teamed up with them so that we can fund so that our volunteers can buy the materials, and we pay for that. And then we also collect it from them and deliver it to wherever it needs to go. So what the For the Love of Scrubs actually do is that you create scrubs and face masks and wash bags for healthcare staff in local hospitals. Then we've created some new projects as well. So we have the Discovery Pen Pals project, so you can send postcards and letters to young people and adults to support them during lockdown so that they can socialise. This is particularly great for people who are shielding, as they're not able to actually maybe go out and about, and they might be lacking a lot of socialisation at the moment. Then we also created the Discovery Skillshare. So this one's brilliant, that a lot of our volunteers would create a video of their own skills, or as you can see here, one of our volunteers who can speak Afrikaans and would show us some basic words and phrases from that language. We also had people do like juggling, things like that. So that was quite nice, and it keeps people occupied. We also created a new fundraising project to help out with local charities and different campaigns that are happening in the area. So one is Swansea Takes On Period Poverty, and what our volunteers are doing is creating like fun runs. We also have one who's streaming himself juggling for 100 hours. Not in one go, but yeah. So we have that as well. Then we also have the Food Swansea phone support project. So this was actually adapted because Food Swansea was an existing project, and we had to make this virtual and make that to go online. So this would allow our volunteers to support the community members who would attend our community meals, and instead we would have weekly phone calls where they can socialise and still have contact with people. Then all three of these projects is part of Active 18, which is a project that works with vulnerable young adults within the Swansea area. So instead we have like a call scheme and online activities similar to Inspire, but more tailored towards these people instead. Then finally, we did a lot of research to find what is already existing virtually, and then we can advertise that on our platforms to try and get more people involved. So you can see there's a lot here. So there's anything from animal conservation to decipher handwritten notes, to try and help cure diseases with your gaming PC. So there's a lot of options there, and again, you know, you can spend as little or as often as you want on these projects as well. So for Discovery, how to get involved, you would just do a start your volunteer induction process with us, and you can contact us through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on our website, or email us just directly at discovery@swansea.ac.uk. Andrew will also be putting some web links into the chat if you wanted to use them. So that's all I really have to say. Whether anyone has any questions, feel free to shout them out or pop them in the chat.
Yeah, so there's a question about getting a list of the our projects. I'm just going to pop a link in the chat in a second, which to our website, which has a list of some of the ones that we've been promoting recently. And then the other question from Julie Lewis was, what is included in our induction process? So what does that look like?
Okay, so our induction process will run you through what projects we have, what would be suited best to you. We would also discuss whether you needed a DBS, which Discovery pay for. Then we also do the basics of safeguarding and things like that. Anything to add, Andrew?
Yeah, I think so. Another thing is that previously all of our induction stuff was in person, so it would be a sort of a 2-hour seminar kind of thing in the that we're booking somewhere on campus with one of our staff members going through, as we said, all the important stuff about, you know, who we are, what we do, safeguarding basics and that. Obviously, because of the pandemic, we've had to adapt to delivering that online. We've been piloting that a bit, and then our main recruitment time will be in September, obviously, when students come back. So we're going to be doing giving out a sort of a workbook for people to work through beforehand, and then having an online, a shorter online video call group. Yeah. It's too early to use words, I'm sorry. Groups so that people can ask questions and sort of we can check in and make sure that everyone's up to speed on that. And then we also have our what we call our Start Here interviews. So everyone will have an in-person, previously now online, 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 interview with either a member of staff or an existing volunteer who's been trained in that. So I've done it in the past. To sort of talk about what projects they might want to get involved with and why they want to get involved, so that we can really sort of help them find what bit of our organisation suits them.
Yeah. So just to answer Amy's question, yeah, we have adapted our induction process, just like Andrew's just said. So yeah, a lot of it is online now, and we're able to utilise things like Zoom to be able to speak directly to our volunteers.
So next question from Mariana: have you seen any change in engagement or attendance on any of these projects?
Okay, so I think for a lot of them, now that they're online, a lot more people have the time, that they don't have to travel to go anywhere, that they are engaging a lot more with the projects, and because you don't have to spend like a certain amount of hours on them or anything like that, people can spend, you know, as little or as often as they like on the projects. And what we try and do is we make like a lot of videos where we'll ask for a little bit of input from our volunteers and put them into one big video for like activities and things like that. So it's quite easy that people can spend, you know, a couple of minutes making a quick video, and we edit it all together. So we are getting a lot of engagement, a lot of attendance with these projects as well. So it's brilliant.
And I think the other thing to say is kind of, so far it's kind of just been piloting that sort of the Inspire project, particularly so far, with volunteers who were already involved with the children's projects in person previously. But we're hoping from September to sort of grow that with our new intake. And yeah, I mean, yeah, and try and have as much volunteering happening as we had before in person, but online. Talking of which, I'm sorry, I'm going to mutilate this name, but Josanda, possibly? I am very sorry. Have we got any suggestions about how to adapt one-off volunteering opportunities to make them more virtual, online accessible?
Yeah. So how we've kind of been recruiting for one-off volunteering opportunities is we utilise our newsletter, which goes out every week. And social media has really helped out here as well, that we can engage with a lot of people in one go and ask for engagement with our projects and with our activities. So we created a basics of British Sign Language video, and we sent out in our newsletter whether anyone wanted to get involved with that. So we had a bit of engagement there. And we had a brand new volunteer who has stayed with us since then as well. So that's brilliant.
Yeah, okay, so Cynthia asks, are any of our projects student-led, and if yes, how have project leaders been supported? So Discovery is a student-led charity. Both myself and Megan are students. Um, all of our projects are led by a student or pair of students as what we call a project coordinator. And that's been in place for, well, as long as I've worked with the charity.
Yeah.
In terms of the personal ones, and then in-person ones, and also the online ones. We only have 5 members of full-time staff working in our charity, which, you know, with 600 students, 30 projects to manage, it is very much student-led.
Student-led, yeah.
So would you like to talk about maybe how we've been supported?
Yeah, so before lockdown, I was the project coordinator for the Rascals project, which works with children who are refugee and asylum seekers. And because we couldn't do face-to-face work, like I said, we adapted a lot of our children's project to the Inspire project. And I've just been named that I will be the project coordinator for that project as well. So the way we've been supported is weekly check-ins. I have a lot of like project catch-up meetings. They've also, because we've just created the Inspire project, and it's been a lot of work going into managing our budget and increasing our engagement and really getting the word out there that we've created this new project. They've actually told me to take August off from the project, just to say, you know, when we come back in September, it's going to be busy, so take a big break now, really look after yourself. They're also brilliant that if you, for whatever reason, need a break, straight away they'll pick up the project and say, right, okay, we'll look after it, don't you worry, you know. So we always have our office hours, which has, you know, existed for as long as I've been there, every week, that we can go in and get support from our project manager and project support worker. And this hasn't stopped. This has continued like through Zoom, or if people are suffering from Zoom fatigue, where we've had enough of this video calling, we can speak to them through Messenger and things like that. They also create some good like socializing events. So we have our project support worker is called Ben, and he created Ben's Bar. So through Zoom, he would put up a background of a bar, and we could spend half an hour with him. We would play games and just chat generally, and that was really, really good that we could see each other and see some of the other volunteers that, you know, we were so used to seeing whenever we liked, really. So that was brilliant.
Yeah, I think kind of pre-lockdown and all that, a big part of our charity was sort of the heart of our charity was our office on campus. The students pop in, make themselves a cup of tea, and, you know, talk to the staff about what they're doing on the projects, what their plans are, check in about, you know, what support they might need, and just sort of see each other in the community. And I think having Ben's Bar and digital check-ins and stuff has been really important to us, to sort of continuing that community of our charity during the madness that has been the past few months. Yep. So next question from Debbie is, did you already promote to virtual volunteering, or is this a new area for you?
Are you okay to take this one, Andrew? Because I think you probably are best to answer this. Andrew is like our director of
IT, think all the computer stuff. I'm a computer science student, so it kind of makes sense.
He's probably the best to answer this.
Yeah. So when I started with the charity, no, there wasn't really much in the way of virtual volunteering. It was all very much either sort of in-person projects, either out on our trips engagements, or also a lot of work actually within the office itself, doing sort of admin type things. Maybe about a year before the pandemic started. So yeah, last year, I guess, we did start sort of moving in that direction, starting to look at our one-off volunteering opportunities, was sort of the first big thing. And then also the digital volunteering opportunities sort of alongside that, and starting to develop that. And then obviously pandemic came along, and kind of the whole virtual side of things got accelerated. So it's something we were starting to do, but with the situation, the developments kind of focused more in that direction for obvious reasons. So Kesra asks, what challenges or barriers and/or did you and student volunteers face adapting? Facing adapting the face-to-face opportunities into virtual opportunities. So the word "face" was in that too many times.
So the challenges and barriers that we kind of faced when adapting our projects. So it all happened quite quickly. You know, not a lot of us were expecting this to happen. So that was, you know, a bit of a shock, but our team are brilliant. They are really brilliant. Everyone works well together, and they were really quick to sort everything out for us. So it was scary, I think, for us as students that there was this big change, and we wanted to make sure that the people that we work with on the projects, you know, felt safe and supported, and you know, that was kind of our number one concern there. It is difficult that you're worried that you might lose some volunteers along the way, which luckily we don't think has really happened. We really encourage people, you know, in this time to look after themselves. And if that meant taking a step away from volunteering, that was completely fine. And that people can come back as and when they like. And yeah, so creating the time for more of the supportive networks that we had. So like Ben's Bar, we had to make sure that we were able to, you know, look after our volunteers and things like that. But really, yeah, I think we've been quite lucky with it, that we've had a lot of engagement. We haven't really lost any volunteers, and we're still able to support the people who, you know, we set out to support. Andrew?
Yeah, I think, yeah, as you said, it was definitely a surprise. I mean, the weekend before sort of lockdown was announced, I was actually out running a project, running the children's projects, and I was saying to the guys, all right, so we don't know what's happening at the moment. You know, if things change, you know, with this whole pandemic thing, with this might be our last trip for a while, but you know, it probably won't be. We'll probably be back, you know, next month as usual. But you know, just, you know, and then yeah, literally the next day it was like, oh right, well, but that's not happening anymore. So yeah, it was quite a sort of a sudden change, and you know, we had always been prioritizing, both sort of from the staff point of view and from trustees, where we were prioritizing safety, obviously, and so yeah, we took the decision that face-to-face just wasn't happening at all. There was no way we could deliver that in a way that was safe for us, and you know, that's going to continue as digital only until at least January, depending on how things go. In terms of that actual adaptation, I think, as Megan was saying, the staff team were absolutely amazing. You know, getting the information out there to students really quickly that, you know, stuff has changed. We won't be able to do it in person, but we're working on the stuff, and then getting things like the Inspire project set up, all these other different ones as well. I say Inspire because I've been working on that, so it's kind of what I know. But
yeah. We're very proud of the Inspire project.
Oh yes, we are.
Where are we in the questions then?
Yes. So yeah, I think it. You know, there's certainly been a lot of sort of issues about getting things organised, but overall, I think we've done. It's, you know, it's kind of just learning as you go along, really.
It's such a learning curve. Yeah, none of us are used to working in a pandemic.
So sorry, what was the next question? The transition must have been hard to find places for volunteering for all students. How were you able to create more of these meaningful activities?
So we were able to really see the demand that we have anyway, and just trying to find the best way to adapt these so that we could still meet the demand and still support the people that, you know, the projects are set out to support. So with the Inspire project, you know, we created the meaningful activities there, such as following the 5 ways to wellbeing and creating things just to keep children occupied in the lockdown, and that they're fun activities. Some of them are quite educational as well. And that I can speak to for the Inspire project more than some of the other ones. That's my project, it's my baby. How about some of the other ones, Andrew?
Yeah, well, so I think something part of our, let me start that sentence again. We've got a lot of experience with managing sort of demand versus places in our projects. So lots of our sort of most popular projects are sort of those children's trips away projects and things like that. And obviously, both for budgetary reasons and so that we don't have 15 students taking 2 children to the cinema, which would just be ludicrous and not very comfortable for them. We do often have a lot more people wanting to volunteer in certain projects than we have space on that project. And I think, you know, we've gotten pretty good during the in-person times at sort of rotating volunteers out to make sure that everyone gets a go, and also directing people at, you know, while you're waiting for your turn on this one, look at these other projects we've got, you know, and sort of making links. Oh, you like this aspect? Well, this has got similar aspects. And I think that's kind of been quite similar in the virtual volunteering time as well. Obviously, we've been promoting lots of those sort of third-party ones, particularly like the online ones that you can spend as much time as you want on them. There's no sort of end to it.
I think it's quite fair to say that because they're virtual, there's so many virtual opportunities about, so not just with us, but also the third-party ones that we're promoting, that there's a lot of space for volunteers now that you don't like anyway. There's plenty out there, so that's also a really good positive of the virtual aspect. So what methods we use to encourage students to submit videos for the Inspire project? So we make sure all our volunteers feel very valued, that their time is important, and we really appreciate any time that they spend with us. So our volunteers kind of get in touch through social media, through our website, through our emails. So we would encourage them to submit videos to us, but also that they didn't have to show their face if they didn't want to. And to get in touch with the project coordinator. And because we're all students, it's quite a friendly network. Nobody has to feel shy about anything. So I think that really helps as an encouragement to get involved.
So Valerie asks, beyond the projects, do you do anything else to keep volunteers engaged and create a sense of community? Yeah, so as Megan was mentioning earlier, Ben, who's one of our staff members, project worker, had his Ben's bar, which was for project coordinators and trustees mainly, as sort of a pilot. But yeah, really, kind of the key thing is a lot of these projects that we've been doing since it started until now have mainly been in a pilot phase. But from September, we are definitely hoping to have a much that similar sort of informal chat thing for open to all our student volunteers, kind of thing. Hopefully having different things each week, having student trustees and project coordinators running it on different weeks, taking them through different activities that we're hoping that people are interested in, and yeah, just really having that space to communicate.
So moving forward in September, we're going to take what we've learned from these informal chats and like Ben's bar and things like that, and we're currently in the process of creating supportive sessions as and when our volunteers need it and our project coordinators need it. So we will bring a few project coordinators together every week as an office hour that is virtual. And here they can get any support from our project manager and a project support worker, but also from each other. Any questions and queries, can iron out any problems there, and just really be able to socialize within Discovery, because that is a huge bonus and a huge plus of our volunteering, is that we get to make friends and we get to interact with other students. So that's something that we're really making sure happens in September, and given the positive feedback from what we've been doing with Ben's Bar and, you know, informal chats, things like that, we're taking that forward, and we're going to make sure that we utilise all the good aspects of that and involve them in our volunteering. So is that it for the questions?
I think that's the bottom of the questions so far. If we just give people a minute or two if anyone else wants to type something else. But yeah.
Or if you want to shout them out, feel free.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the virtual office hours.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, how many of those have you done so far, and what was attendance like, and what was the feedback from students, if that was collected?
Yeah, so I've actually been attending a few as the project coordinator on the Inspire project. So at the moment, it's been just myself and the project manager, and we've been able to go through all the aspects of the project and get feedback from the people who are engaging with it, people within the university and things like that. Personally, I feel really supported there, that I get to see some of that feedback, because sometimes you don't see it unless you're directly connected with that sort of thing, and that's really helped motivate me. It also, you get a lot of satisfaction from it, that you can see that you are having an impact, you're really making a difference, which is what we set out to do when we start the volunteering. So that's my point of view. And then a lot of us have been saying, you know, we really look forward to the Fridays when we have and being able to see each other and do the fun things, socialise and play games and things like that. Do you have anything to add, Andrew?
Yeah, I think it's sort of with the sort of the project coordinator support and stuff, that, you know, that was definitely something, you know, we were already doing pre-pandemic, but as an in-person thing, and it's just been sort of adapting that to a digital sense. And yeah, we're like our staff team, the volunteer manager and our project support worker are both excellent, and you know, they really support all of the student project coordinators in whatever way they need, really. Yeah, it's a learning experience, Discovery is, for, you know, sort of our leadership roles and stuff, and that's, you know, part of the reason that it's such good experience, technology wise and stuff, is, you know, you're in charge, but there's the support there.
Yeah. Does that answer your question? So I'm not sure who asked it.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, if we haven't got any more questions, I'm happy to bring this to the end. Mariana?
Amazing. Thank you so much, everyone that came over to this session. Again, thank you so much, Megan. Thank you so much, Andrew. I think the only thing I was going to ask one of you, if that's okay, sorry about the kids in the background. There's an entire family over here. So it's, if you haven't left an email that people might be able to contact you at, I don't know if you've left it in the chat or not. But if you are able to leave us with an email, might that be your personal one or your general one for Discovery, that would be really helpful. I'm going to stop recording this session now.